And now, from the mean streets of Essex, England, this is Whatcast.
Hey, how are you?
Hello. All right.
Yeah, good. Thanks for answering my questions before. What do you think about the moon landing?
What do I think about it? I don't know how long
Yeah.
you've been in here, so I don't know. I'm inclined to think we went to the moon because I used to definitely think we didn't go to the moon, and then I did a couple of podcasts about it, and I had to try to argue the other point and to make it more interesting because I was one of those. The flag's waving. There's footprints are wrong. We could never do it now, and all that sort of things, what everybody says. And then I looked at the reasons why, and then I spoke to people about it that are actually kind of like more expertise on it than me. And now I'm at a point where, what the fuck do I know? Like, that's how I feel. So
Yeah, I believed it until a lot of people are coming out saying the flag thing as well. I don't know, I'm confused by it because I think that it could be, but I also think like a lot of people don't think that we're like in a dome, right? And that the rockets never go to space. So there's a lot of that kind of hoax out there to me. But yeah, it confuses the fuck out of me. Like, do you think that rockets go to space? Are you a flat earther or a
no.
no?
Are
Yeah,
you?
you're a glober. No, I'm a glober.
I'm a normal person. I'm not a glober. Like I think the
Well,
whole
like
argument is
when I say
ridiculous.
no, when I say glober, I just mean that's what they ask me when I come into those lives, and I'm like, yeah, like I don't believe the Earth is flat if that's what people
No,
ask. Because
I
then, yeah,
absolutely 100% believe that space is real and that everything exists up there. But that
yeah,
with the moon landing, I can see, like, let's put it this way. I lean towards we went to the moon, right? Heavily. Now, after looking at it properly and seeing the pointlessness of lying about it. But I also understand why they might lie about that because there would have been a purpose at the time to have lied about that. Possibly. There is no point in lying about the shape of the earth. Zero.
yeah, I agree. Because when you travel, like I don't know if it's the same for you, but when you travel somewhere, if you look at the map, like everything meets the point of what it looks like on the map. But when these flat earthers show their flat earth map, it doesn't make any sense to me. How they think, like
No.
I'm in Australia, so they show me what Australia looks like, and I'm like, that's just bullshit. It doesn't look like that. Like,
No,
there's just no
exactly.
way.
Australia is the,
Yeah.
but there's Australians that are flat earthers. Like that confuses the fuck out
Yeah,
of me.
I know. I know it confuses me. Like this guy's like, we don't actually know the measurements from one end to the other. I think he's actually in your live watching right now. He told me to say, let me check. Oh, he was here. But he's like so crazy. Like I think he's actually trolling. He says the craziest shit I've ever heard
Who's
in my
what was his
life.
name?
Gas pressure.
Oh yeah, I know. I've spoke to him numerous times. If
Yeah,
you go to
yeah,
my
yeah.
page, you'll see me talking to him. I've got loads of things
Oh,
up with him.
really? Okay. I mean, he's entertaining, but he's just
No, he's
annoying. Like,
entertaining.
yeah.
I don't think he means any harm. I don't know if he's a troll or whether he actually believes. People keep telling me he's a troll. But I did ask him outright, "Are you a troll?" And he was like, "Well, I did this, and I went to this flat Earth tour in Europe in this year, and all this sort of stuff." So I just like,
Yeah,
just take
yeah.
people at face value. Who cares? It makes content for me. I'm not bothered. I'll put the whole conversation out on the podcast, so done okay for me. If I ever have decent debates and that on here, which is the only reason I do these lives, really. You hope to get a bit of a debate and make a decent show out of it when you haven't got anything else to put out. But for me, I definitely don't believe the earth is flat. I don't think there's any evidence to suggest that the earth is flat, no matter what
No,
they all say.
there's a
And
really
as you
good guy
say,
on here though. Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
like Australia and the southern hemisphere, nothing works for flat earth on the southern hemisphere plane, as they call it.
Yes, plain. No, because it just doesn't make sense to me. Like they don't think Tasmania exists. Some people, or like we can't get to Antarctica and all of this. It's just crazy to me. When I hear about these lives and what they say, it just doesn't make like any sense. And the maps and just I can't like the whole dome thing, like the Simpsons movie as well. But with the moon, I get confused because the moon was like in the photos, it looks like kind of like light is on it. But then I think people were saying, how can the moon have light when it reflects off the sun? and everything because one side was not coloured and the other was. Do you remember that photo that I'm talking about? That's also an argument of the moon landing.
Say again, what is it?
It's like in the photo of the moon when they are on there putting the flag on, there's a shadow, and they're saying that the moon wouldn't have a shadow or a line where one side is a different colour to the other, if that makes sense.
Yeah. See, I don't know nothing about photography. Josh is there, is up in the room. He's a photographer, so he knows how to answer those questions. Like for me, I'm not quite sure what you're saying. But you can't jump up at them. I don't know if we can just type it. But I've seen when they've spoke about shadows before. I've seen people do demonstrations debunking like the way the shadows move and stuff like that, saying it would need 2 light sources and all this kind of thing. If they did that, like this is all stuff. Like I fell into this rabbit hole pretty hard. Well, I don't know. I've never thought I'm an expert at anything or that I know for sure anything. But I did used to definitely not believe we'd been to the moon, but only based on sound bites and ignorance. But now I think probably did.
Yeah. Like, I think, like, because, look, it doesn't take that long to get there according to NASA and everything. Like, you would be able to do it. The only thing I can't get around is, like, what is the moon, like, because I've never really looked into it, but what the moon is made of. Because, like, Mars, we know that what Mars and all of that, I've looked at that and what it would be like if humans... when humans go there. But the moon, I don't know, because some people are saying that it would be hollow inside, like you wouldn't be able to step on it. That was also an argument. But I think that it would be solid, right? Because it would be like, I don't know. Do you know much about that?
Not really.
No, it's hard.
No, not really. Again, I haven't really looked beyond the moon. Every time, this is the problem with it, right? Every time I try and talk about it, even on here, the room gets inundated with flat earthers and it gets derailed. The conversation, and I see them all. They're all coming in here now. I'm seeing a load of faces that I recognise, and I know they're flat earthers. But as far as like how the universe was formed and all of this sort of stuff, I don't know. I mean, people could tell you things like Fuzzy Bear. He's been in my last live. I've been in his lives a few times. He seems quite knowledgeable on the topic. I don't know if do you want to come up, Fuzzy Bear, into the chat?
Yeah, I think I've been on his live before, not in it, but just heard of him.
Yeah.
And someone's like, you can see stars through the moon. I don't think you can, but okay.
Who said that?
Someone said it up here, called Shaq.
Yeah, that's again. I saw the explanation for that, and I can't remember it. So this is the thing. Like with Flat Earth, I've got it all down because I have the conversation so many times. But I with the moon, the star through the moon. I know it's ridiculous, and it is a ridiculous. Wasn't it a something? I can't remember. Fuzzy Bear will know anyway when he comes up. Yeah,
all good. Interesting.
How did you ever hear my intro and stuff? Anyway, then did you see it on YouTube?
No, I didn't. I just asked because I know every podcast has an intro, but I'll go check your podcast out. I've been trying to figure it out for mine, and I tried to make it myself.
I never had an intro for fucking ages. It's like I just used to play random crap that I just found because I never ever.
Did it work?
You have to be careful. If you play something that's copyrighted, you have problems. So you've got to kind of get royalty-free music or if you go onto Fiverr, like it's Fiverr, you can just pay people to tell them exactly what you want, and you can get it pretty cheap on there, and then you could just make your own little clip to go with it, a visual, but they can make the sound for you.
Well, yeah, I think I found someone. I don't know if you guys have Airtasker over there. Do you have that? It's like a app with. It's called Airtasker.
Airtasker, I've not heard of that.
Yeah, it's like where you assign someone to do a job for you. That's like just a random that might be like in a business. So I went on it and I asked if someone could make me a podcast intro, and they were like, "Yeah, I'm like an audio person," and you find all these people that just do it on the side. So I found someone who can make it, but I've got to pay them, obviously. I tried to make it myself, but I failed miserably. Yeah.
What topics are you? Are you just going to do random, or what do you want to talk about on your podcast?
Yeah, I want to do like life, just kind of everything. Like nothing's really off limits. I kind of wanted to do like cool hosts and stuff, like just interesting people.
Yeah.
Yeah, everything. Just kind of all rounder.
Yeah, you're better off niching down, to be honest with you. You're better off picking the topic of it. It's really hard these days because every single celebrity's got a podcast as well.
I
So you're
know
competing with a
it's
ton
like
of
that.
people. Have you got any way of distributing it? Have you going to just do it through Spotify or what?
I was just gonna do it through Spotify and maybe Apple, and see how I go with that.
Yeah, but you go to Spotify for podcasters. If you go to Spotify for podcasters, it's completely free to do it through them. I use Buzzsprout. I pay to do mine because you get more analytics and stuff. Fuzzy Bear, welcome.
Hey, thanks for having me up. Sorry for my voice. I literally just woke up.
That's okay. What is your name? What is your actual name? This other person in the box here.
Me, Savannah. You can call me
Savannah?
Sav. Yeah.
Savannah, did you like? So Fuzzy Bear, fire all the questions you just had to me there. This is your man.
Oh, we were talking about how can you stand on the moon because some people think it's hollow. How there was a shadow on the photo of the moon, and also we were just talking about if we believe in space in general because some people don't believe that rockets can go to space and all of that. Yeah.
Sure. So the moon is definitely a solid object, right? You can look at even from Earth on a telescope. You can look at the craters on the moon, especially from the angles that you would see, like not on a full moon. You can see the terrain literally, and one of the classic things is seeing stars through the moon. It is a phenomenon that happens when a crater peak gets sunlight after it's sticking above the surface. So after the terminator line of light on the moon, when you've got like a crescent in the dark area, but close to that terminator line, there will be kind of mountain peaks, craters that have gone upward, and you'll see the light hit those. It'll hit the tips of them, and it'll look like a star. But the way you can tell it's that is it moves with the moon, as opposed to the moon moving past it to see a star
Wait, so
through it.
Fuzzy Bear, just so I know, you believe that like Neil Armstrong went to the moon, like it was a done thing, like definitely happened.
Yes, my uncle worked on the LEM in the 1960s for Grumman.
Wow, how cool!
He worked on 4 of them.
Wow.
Yes.
So do you believe those people that are stuck in the space station until February is real? Like they're actually up there. They're not somewhere underground in NASA.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yes. I mean, think about why would they have a reason to fake that? To take 2 people away from their family for 9 months? Like, why would they?
Exactly.
Why would they have a reason to fake that?
Why do you think people question these? Sorry. Go on. Yeah.
One of the best proofs of the fact that we landed on the moon, we were in a Cold War with the Soviet Union, and the moon landing was a huge flex, right? It was basically us saying, "Listen, you guys beat us in every other way in space, but we can do this, and if we can do this, we can do anything." As far as our ability to launch intercontinental ballistic missiles, right? But it was a huge flex, and the Soviets would have had every reason to question our accomplishment, right? They actually called President Nixon and congratulated him because they had confirmed completely that we landed on the moon, right? They would have had every reason to challenge our accomplishment, and yet not only did they not challenge it, not only have they never challenged it, they actually confirmed it. So why would the
Yeah,
Soviets
wow.
do that? Why would they do that?
Fuzzy,
Yeah.
sorry, I've been reading the room while you've been talking. So 3 things have come. The first guy says, "Why are the craters all at 90 degrees?" You know that claim that they always make when
Yeah,
they're
they're
coming
not.
down perfectly. They're
They're
not. I know.
not.
And the other one was the sun. The star being seen through the moon.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I've seen that debunked, but I don't remember what the explanation was.
Yeah, again, right. It is always viewed on the Terminator line, just to the dark side of the Terminator line of sunlight on the moon. It's always viewed there. And what that is, plain and simple, is think about for example, you know those photos of Mount Rainier on Earth where you see it casts shadows upwards.
Mm-hmm.
So that is the mountaintop getting lit without the surface of the Earth near it getting lit, right?
Right.
Same thing. You've got these peaks created by the craters, and they get sunlight when they're in the dark area of the moon. So you'll see this little point of light as the tip of the crater gets lit by the sun. And the way you know it's that is because those stars, if you have video of them, those quote unquote stars you're seeing through the moon, they move with the moon. The moon doesn't move past it. They move with the moon.
What are you doing there, by the way? Are you at a Greek wedding at the moment? You sound like you're smashing plates everywhere.
No, I just woke up, so I'm putting the dried dishes away
Oh, right. So I
before
was right. The dishes.
I get myself ready to go to work.
All right. You also had gas pressure pop up in the room and said that you was talking drivel.
Of course. Let's see. The shadows of photos taken on the moon's surface.
Oh, yeah.
So a couple of things you'll notice about them, and Josh is far better at this than I am as far as the photos. He is unbelievable at evaluating photos. But so one of the things you'll notice is the brightness of everything. It's a very consistent brightness and it's a singular light source. When you see the shadows, there is no hint of any second shadow from any object that you see cast a shadow. So if there were two light sources, you wouldn't be able to avoid that. You would not be able to avoid two light sources, right? Now, there are some photos where the angles look odd, but to be honest, you can create that, and I've seen most of those same angles created in regular sunlight with objects and perspective. Right? Yeah. When we're looking at parallel lines that are diverging from our eyes, they're always going to look like they're in strange angles, right? It's the same thing as the train tracks going away from us, right? Our perspective causes those lines to be transformed from their three-dimensional parallelism to a two-dimensional angles. It's the way we see things. That is the real effect of perspective, unlike most flat earthers that talk about perspective and really don't understand it.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
Totally.
So,
I think they do, though.
Yeah, and you know, one of the best proofs is if you, and they have physicists have evaluated the video of the Lunar Grand Prix, the car that roamed around. The way the regolith comes off of the tires, that rooster tail, its motion, its speed, the trajectory is not reproducible on Earth. You can't, because it's 1/6 gravity. you can't reproduce that speed and trajectory of that regolith on Earth. Physicists have gone through that video. They've calculated the speed. They've calculated the trajectory. And they simply say, hey, this is not reproducible on Earth. It's not reproducible in any form of slow motion video from those days. It's not reproducible.
Hello, Ange. Yeah. So, anyone disagree? Does anybody disagree in the room? They want to come up and just say, it's gas pressure. I'll have him up. Why not?
Oh my God, no. Okay.
As far as let me get one more thing out. You mentioned space propulsion in a vacuum. Think about this for a second. If you I'll do it on my own broadcast because now I realize I've never had a flat Earth live. Let me get this out. But let's do a thought experiment. Stand on a skateboard, holding nothing in your hands, and push your hands out in front of you as fast as you can. Right? But hold them at your chest and then push them out in front of you. You'll go nowhere. Right? You're pushing off the air, but you'll go nowhere. Now, do that same thing, but hold a medicine ball, like one of those, 10-pound exercise balls, and push the ball away from you fast. You will go backwards because you are pushing that ball away, and because you are pushing a large mass away, you will push yourself backwards. You're not pushing off the air. The ball is not pushing off the air. You are ejecting a 10-pound mass behind you. You are going to go backwards.
Yeah.
Right?
That makes sense.
So
sense. Yeah.
So you're not pushing off the medium. You don't need the medium. What you need is that 10-pound mass to go in the opposite direction at some force, right? So the way propulsion works in a vacuum is the same thing. It is Newton's law, right? Equal and opposite reaction, right? So they bring the oxygen, they bring the fuel to burn, they burn it in a chamber, and they allow it to escape in a very controlled manner in a single direction. And because they are throwing that mass at a very high velocity in a single direction, they will go the other direction.
Right.
So propulsion works.
Gas pressure's dying to get in and rebut some of this stuff.
No, I'm listening to what you're saying. I like to listen to the opposition. You wanted to get his point out. That's fine. Oh my God, there's a massive spider. Let me just 1 second. I've got to kill this spider.
Can I actually ask a question before we get to gas pressure? Don't kill the spider, by the way. Put it outside. Don't do me. Fuzzy Bear.
Yes.
Just one question. Just one thing that a flat earther tried to tell me was that if we had all these meteors coming in, like say, for example, because like we have meteor showers in space and all of that, and we have satellites all around Earth. Someone was saying that one of them would have been knocked out by now, or a lot of them, and we would have lost, communication, but that's not the case. What do you say to that, to the photos of them showing all the satellites around Earth? Do you know what I'm talking about?
I do. Right?
Yeah.
The Earth is massive. There are thousands of satellites. Yes, there are. But they are tiny. They are super tiny. And yes, some of them have been hit and had things damaged. But they are super, super tiny. And they've been up there for tens of years. Right? The absolute expectation that some of them should have been hit by now. Well, some of them have been hit, right? But that doesn't mean we necessarily would have seen a cataclysmic explosion of some satellite because you think that there's been enough time and incidents. They have been hit. There have been damaged pieces.
Now, I'm curious. I'm curious. Gas pressure. Did you kill the spider yet? I'm a bit worried about
I'll put it outside.
Right.
Did a good job. You didn't kill it.
I have to say, I'm a kill the spider kind of guy, but
yeah.
that's just me.
No, don't ever kill spiders. Just put them outside.
You're in Australia. You're in Australia. You've
There's
got to
an-
kill
I always
spiders. How do
save
they kill
them. I
you?
always save them. No, I always save the spiders. Save the
There's
animals. I save.
Listen, if the spider is big enough to make me, get the mop out when I clean it, I'm going to consider doing something else. And I know you have them down in Australia, but there's enough other spiders outside to do the job. I'm going to kill the ones that are in my living space.
But the big
Thank
ones
you.
in your house. Remember, they kill cockroaches and stuff. They're actually good
I don't
for your
have
house.
cockroaches
You
in
don't
my
have
house. Thank you.
Oh, okay.
No cockroaches here. So look, anyway, look, I can only go by my lifetime, which is all our lifetimes, and we've never seen a rocket do what they said happened in the past. Now we are more advanced today than back then. That means we have more technology, more brain power, more resources.
You mean go to the moon?
Yeah, I'm saying everything's better. Everything's 10 times,
gas
100
pressure.
times,
I'm
1,000.
going to stop you.
Hold
But
on.
go
I
ahead.
didn't
Yeah,
interrupt you
let him
once.
finish. Let him finish his point.
You're right.
I didn't interrupt you once. I just let you go on for as long as
You're
you
right.
need to. Right. So,
good.
like I said, I can only go by our lifetime. And back then, they told us they had fantastic technology to take us to the moon. And today, we've gone backwards. There's no reason for us to go backwards. There's no reason for any excuses. What we should have today is hotels on the moon. We should have hotels in space. We should have space travel. It should be a regular, everyday occurrence, just like we have buses, trains, planes, cars, bikes, whatever. So, we've never seen in our lifetime a rocket go up and enter.
Sorry, Fuzzy, can you just mute while he's speaking? Because you've got a lot of background noise going on there, mate. Cheers, thank you.
We've never seen a rocket in our lifetime go up and go beyond the atmosphere, beyond the dome. You guys say, yes, we have, but all we've ever seen is rockets go up and come back down. So before we talk about moon landings, we've got to figure out how do we get out and through the firmament. Over to you.
There's no firmament. Let's not go down that ridiculous.
Yes.
Hold on a minute. I just want to ask Gas a question before we move on here, because we were just talking about something there beforehand about the satellites not being hit by meteorites or whatever. Do you believe meteorites exist, Gas? Are they a thing to you, or have you got a different explanation for them?
Well, there are things that shoot about the sky. Possibly, yeah. I mean, yeah. I've got no reason to doubt them. I've seen that thing in Russia that came down. Yeah, I've seen those. Yeah.
Can we leave the imaginary firmament for this conversation?
Well, that's the thing, you see, with the moon landings, people get into a great big discussions about shadows and lighting and the flag and the astronaut suit and the footprints and how did they, all those types of things. And I think that's just to hide or to mask the real problem is face the fact that we can't leave the atmosphere. Rockets cannot escape. In our lifetime, we've never ever witnessed a rocket go straight up and out into space. We've never seen it go around the ball and out into space. So there's no reason to believe that we went to the moon if we can't do it in the most advanced. We are the most advanced we've ever been. We're at the height of technology, the height of thought, the height of science, but we can't repeat what they did.
But you don't believe any of it anyway. Right, I'm going to let Fuzzy Bear respond to you.
Yeah, go.
So does anyone know how many, if you totaled up the manned and unmanned missions that have gone to the moon from humanity, does anybody know what that number would be?
How many manned missions to where?
Manned and unmanned missions to the moon from humanity. Does anyone know what that number would be?
I don't know.
You said we haven't gone back to we haven't seen a rocket go back to the moon. Is what you said.
No, we've never seen a rocket leave the atmosphere.
Yeah, we have. We have. You claim we haven't, but claiming we haven't is not saying
How do
we
you
haven't.
know? How do you know then? How do you know? Can you show us what you saw?
Because we have plenty of photographic evidence that we've been to the moon, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm asking. What did you see that
We
you
have
saw that we
plenty
left
of
the atmosphere?
photographic evidence that we went to the moon. However, does anyone know what that number would be? Right, there were 12 men in 6 missions that walked on the moon.
Yeah.
Right, but if you were to put a number on it, how many total humanity manned and unmanned missions have sent things to the moon?
Thousands upon thousands of missions to the moon and in space. Thousands.
There have been
millions.
over 140. There have been just over
That's like a
140.
club. That's a club of people from a group. There should be random individuals from all over the world.
Why should there be? Why should there be? Do you think it was easy to go to the moon?
Yes, it's just building a rocket.
No. Do you think it was
very simple? We built planes
to go to the moon?
We've mastered flight. We know how helicopters work. We know how planes work. We can even get like paper planes to fly further and higher than ever before. We understand how flight works. So yes.
Okay. We understand how deep sea works too. And yet, once the tourism engine of that started becoming a thing, what did we have? We had a catastrophe a little over a year ago in deep sea, right?
Yeah, but we're talking about
all of that deep sea because it's freaking dangerous. Those men had balls of steel.
There's nothing dangerous about flying.
To get on a rocket
every single day, all day.
You don't think going into space has got any danger?
No, not since from 1960 to now.
It would be, gas. It would be even more dangerous for you because you'd be smashing headfirst into a glass dome if you did it. And
if we went up there, we wouldn't. Well, that's what NASA do anyway. They avoid the dome. They turn.
So why do they go up at all then?
To fake space travel. That's the purpose of it. To fake space travel. That's why they do it.
To trick gas.
No. The Soviets would have had every single reason. The Soviets would have had every single reason to tell us why we faked it, and they literally confirmed that we went to the moon.
If the Soviet Union was
they
second
literally
in this so-called...
we were
Okay, let's say there was a race. Let's say they were trying to beat the Russians. Okay, the Russians are like, okay, we've been beaten by the Americans. But we were first with the satellites, so that's it. We're equal at the moment. The Russians should
they were first in every single way.
Yeah, so the Russians should be thinking. So the Russians should be thinking to themselves now.
They landed probes on the moon first
and build a Russian hotel on the moon. You would follow it up. You wouldn't say, okay, let's stop. No,
you make it sound like we're going to send a construction crew to the beach to build a hotel.
What are you talking about?
You make it sound so ridiculous.
That's what we do, yeah. We find the land and we build on it. That's what man does.
Okay, then why haven't we gone past the ice wall? Why haven't we gone past the ice wall to do that?
The military have, but the public, the civilians haven't. Not allowed.
The dome's in the way. How do they get through? Gas. Sorry, gas. How do the military get beyond the ice wall when you think there's a dome beyond the ice wall? Have they got a door in the dome that they can go through just then?
No, because the dome's not the ice wall. You have the ice wall in a plateau, and then miles ahead there would be a dome of some sort.
Okay. He says with zero evidence.
Well, the evidence is Savannah, gas pressure.
Savannah,
you cannot have gas pressure without a container.
I'm here.
Savannah, before I go, because I do have to take a shower and get myself to work. One of the things that, if you're doubtful of what we did on the moon, one of the things we have now is there are satellites that are orbiting the moon, and they take photos of the surface of the moon all the time. And every one of the lunar landing sites that we went to in the 1960s and 70s, those have all been photographed from lunar orbit, and those photos are available. You can see the tracks of the Lunar Grand Prix. You can actually literally see the tracks on the moon. You can see the retro reflectors. You can see.
Earth? Is this from Earth?
No, from lunar orbit. From lunar orbit.
So that means we should be able to see the flag then as well, yeah?
Yes, you can. Yes.
So can you send it to me, Fuzzy Bear? Is that okay? If you can.
I'm not at my computer right now.
No, when you are, just can you send me the links and stuff? I'd love to see it.
Sure, let me follow you.
Just quickly,
I'm following you.
Sorry, guys, quickly. This Ashley's joined. I just want to know, they did ask to come up. Just what do you want to add to this, Ashley?
I just want to clarify if I'm understanding Matey Boy correct. So you think there's a glass dome and an ice wall around the globe that no one can see and there's zero evidence and proof of, Yet the provable landings on the moon you think are fake because we should, in your logic, be taking Ubers there every other day. Just as you said, random people from around the world can just build a rocket willy-nilly and shoot on up there for a jolly for afternoon tea. Is that what you're saying?
Why would we have to build? We don't build buses and planes. We have governments and institutions to sort that out.
Yeah, but they still have to build them, don't they? At a cost, like the amount of. Think of it this way, right? Let's say you drive from Land's End to John O'Groats in a car that does 50 miles to the gallon, reasonable car. It's going to cost you 200 quid to do that, to do 300 miles. How much do you think it's going to cost just to fuel any vehicle that can go hundreds of thousands of miles just at a whim, carrying all the stuff you're going to need in space? Like, just forget about the fact that apparently we don't need to build these things because institutions take care of it for us at no cost, whatever. Let's imagine you're correct for at least one thing. Where are you getting all this fuel from to just send these? That's why they're working on reusable rockets, because it costs so much to do anything in space.
You think about those Saturn V rockets, and
there are different ways to power these things. It doesn't have to be the fuel that you're describing.
Every single bit of a Saturn V rocket was consumed and disappeared for every moon landing.
And to go back to your first point about
every single bit. So what we are working on now is not that manner of rocketry, right? We are working on things that where the early stages can be recovered and reused, where the vehicle can be brought back to Earth in a way where we can reuse it, right? We're doing things differently this time, because in the 1960s the only thought was, hey, get up there and get the guys back. The vehicles didn't matter. They were just left to disintegrate when they were done, right? That's not the manner we're doing right now, which is what one of the things that's making it so challenging to get back there is we're not doing it in the consume it and lose it manner. We're doing it in a way where they want to reuse all of this technology. It's very different problems to solve. And to sit here and think that it is that trivial to get people to the moon really does really denigrate the accomplishment of what those people did back then. It is not, never was, easy to get to the moon. We didn't do it because it was easy.
Of course it's easy. If it's possible, then you've done it 6 times allegedly.
It's possible if you put a garden pea up in the air.
And to answer your question about the ice wall, so the ice wall is just a shoreline that holds the water about. And then there would be like a plateau, perhaps, I don't know how far it would go, then you would reach another barrier that prevents you from going out.
Okay. Let's that's a little off topic, and I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt of assuming that that's just pure troll and you don't actually believe that. But to come back to your logic about it being trivial to go into space, if I'm a mile away from you and you flick a garden pea 10 meters in the air, it's possible for me to shoot that garden pea with a 50 cal sniper rifle. But it's not easy, is it? Just because it's possible doesn't make it easy. You've got to be crazy to think that.
Well, we've never seen a rocket leave the atmosphere in our life.
Yes, we have.
You just don't accept
literally
it.
millions of people have watched it happen.
Believe it. We have. You just don't believe it.
All right, what's the link? Let me have a look at what you saw.
Gas. Hold on a second.
March to the moon.
You keep saying that we did it all back then. We can't do it now. We should be doing it all the time. If they did it tomorrow, and you saw video evidence from the rocket, from the film in the ground the whole way up, you still wouldn't believe it, would you? So why do you ask for evidence for anything?
Because we don't have videos of rockets going straight up.
But if we did, you would say that it's debunked.
Straight up is an impossibility because you're talking about a moving sphere. Straight up is something that's
I'm dumbing it down. I'm dumbing it down for flat earthers, right? So just go.
Easier.
You know, they don't believe in orbits. There's pointless going there, right? I've had this conversation the other day with somebody when they said, why do the rockets go up at a funny angle and go off that way? And it's like they're going into orbit. No, they're not. Well, then there's no point in having that conversation, is it? But what I'm saying is if they could prove the camera was filming the whole time with no cuts, and it got all the way to the moon on the same bit of film or whatever, you would watch it and go, no, that's rubbish. So why demand that evidence?
You claim it was CGI.
If they did what we asked for and didn't cut...
You would claim it's CGI.
You would,
We would say that is real.
You would claim it's CGI.
Well, you don't know that. You haven't shown us an uncut video. You don't know that.
I do know that.
Gas, I can prove that you would say that. And the reason I can prove that is because me and you had a conversation about the final experiment and the sun. And before it's even happened, because you know there'll be a 24-hour sun there, you're already saying what it will be instead of the real sun. You're already saying sun simulator tied to a plane or whatever you said in that thing.
Yeah,
right?
Because there wouldn't be a 24-hour sundown.
So you already don't accept it before it's been seen. So that's why I know you wouldn't accept any evidence you was given for any reason. Space, moon.
Can I ask you a question, an honest question? You seem like a skeptical person, yes?
Go on.
Okay. Give me one thing that you are skeptical about your flat Earth.
Like what? I mean...
Give me one thing that you are skeptical about your flat Earth. Some claim that flat Earth has that you say, no, I don't understand how that would be on a flat Earth.
Are there like more lands beyond the ice wall?
No, I mean about our flat Earth realm.
Well, nothing.
Nothing. Okay. You're indoctrinated. I'll give you one thing that I am skeptical about our globe model.
It's not that
I'm honest. No, you are indoctrinated.
I'm not indoctrinated. I've looked at the globe.
You can't even introspect and look at this in a unbiased way. You can't.
Is that what you're saying?
You did.
So I went out there to try and prove the globe. I saw objects that should be hidden by the curvature, and you're saying that's me indoctrinating myself.
200 proofs of a flat Earth. By reading that book,
but like I just said, I went out there to try to see something that should be hidden by the curvature, and I saw it. So how is that me indoctrinating myself?
No, Gaz. Listen. Right. I'm currently on the 7th floor roof in Croydon with an £80,000 GPS system doing a building survey. Now I can look at my tablet right here, and a building that I can see in the GPS is only, 900 meters away. So I should be able to see this, yes?
Go on.
But the building I'm trying to look at is only 1 floor, and I'm on the 7th, so how am I going to look down at that from that angle? Just because you can't see something with your eyes doesn't mean that it's not there. Like, the Earth is not a perfectly spherical ball. There are bumps and troughs and hills and valleys. Like, just because someone who doesn't know anything about, presumably, you have to not. Someone who doesn't know anything about GPS or about mathematics or anything, just because you can't see it and decisively say that it's there, doesn't mean that it's not.
Fuzzy, two seconds.
I don't know.
There's
I don't know what was in your Weetabix, but
Ashley,
because you can't see it doesn't mean it's not there.
I'm going to drop. I need to take a shower and head to work. Okay. So I thank you for bringing me up. It's a pleasure. I've been a fan of your style of lives here for a while. So
thank you, mate.
I appreciate what you do.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Fuzzy. Thanks.
Thank you. Thanks.
See ya.
Bye.
Yeah, I was just going to say to everyone else, if someone's dropping us, that's decent. Like, for people requesting to come up, I don't like to have too many people up at once. I knew he was going to go, so I brought Kayvon up. When someone else drops, someone else can come up. We'll just do it that way, because otherwise people just tend to talk over each other.
I'm good.
Okay, Savannah's going to drop.
Yeah.
Okay, cheers. Thank you. Cheers. Okay, Kayvon,
like the fact
welcome.
That, Gas, have you ever been on a plane?
Yeah, so look, let me try and explain to you how it works. You're told you're on a globe, okay? You're given a radius, you're given a size. You're told what should be hidden behind curvature of Earth. You can go out there with a camera, particular height, things that are a particular distance, and see if things are hidden or not. So I've been out there, I've looked at a lighthouse. The lighthouse is supposed to be covered by curvature. I could see it, therefore no curvature.
Hold on, guys. Let's do numbers though, so that way we can all be on the same page. So there was a lighthouse. How tall was the lighthouse?
I don't have the details with me right now.
Exactly. So it's all a lie. It's always a lie.
No,
You did an experiment. You did an experiment that you don't remember. I did an experiment. Hold on. Let me just finish the statement. Let me just finish the statement.
I've told you what
I did an experiment.
Do.
Hold on. I just want to address that. You said you did an experiment. I did an experiment in like 3rd grade, making a volcano with like baking soda and vinegar.
Yeah.
And I remember those things because I put time into making that experiment. I remember what I did with the cardboard. You did an experiment that was important to you, that you went out your way to go see this lighthouse to prove that the world is flat. And now you don't remember any of the data.
No, I went to see if it was a globe, if what we were told was true.
Correct. So where were you standing?
Standing at the shore.
You stand at the shore. How far is the lighthouse?
I don't have those details with me right now.
So exactly. So you can't go over there and say, "Oh, I see a lighthouse. It's flat."
Yeah, but what was compelling at the time was that we was able to see this lighthouse.
Yes,
because the lighthouse was visible. What Kayvon's getting at is that the whole point in an experiment is that it's repeatable. If you were to say, if you were to give an exact number of how far away you were from this lighthouse, how tall the lighthouse were, and importantly, where on the globe it was, then you could replicate that and go back and see him like, actually, holy shit, yeah, he can't see it because he's looking the wrong way.
They never want to give specifics, because if they give specifics, they can be debunked. So they're just vague as fuck.
The point is, you can go out there with a camera, you can look at things, and you can say, look, I can see things I'm not supposed to see on the globe.
You know what? You're right. You know what? You're right. I'm even.
That's how people come flat earthers
that.
They don't listen to other people. Like if you just listen to me, that would be like
okay, guys.
Incorrect.
You're absolutely
right. And try and see if you can prove.
You're absolutely right, guys. So this is what happened to me, guys.
Yeah.
I went to the beach to go see a lighthouse, and it wasn't there. It's a globe. It's a globe.
Okay.
I went the next day to see that lighthouse, and it still wasn't there.
Okay.
The next time I went a little further out. And then the next time I got a little closer.
You're giving advice. So you're giving advice.
And the next time I went a little closer and closer, and it still wasn't there. It was hidden by the curvature.
Okay, so that's good. So you're saying that's what you should do to go out to prove whether you want a globe or a flat plane.
I went to the same place for a whole year, and the lighthouse wasn't there. I don't even know if it exists. I just assume that it's there, and I don't see it. And that was the experiment I decided. I don't need no data. I don't need to give you anything.
You're telling people what you did, so they should, if they want to prove it, they should go and do the same thing.
Oh, right? Yeah. So how would you do it? How would you do what I did? I didn't tell you where I was. I didn't tell you the distance. I didn't tell you which way I was looking. I didn't give you coordinates. How would you be able to replicate this? I didn't give you
distances either.
Exactly my point. You're agreeing with me.
You don't need to. You just need to tell
somebody
people.
To repeat the experiment.
Let me explain to you because it's probably difficult. Okay, you already know the size of the board because that's what you were told. Then you go out and see if you can see things that are meant to be hidden by the curvature. If you could see them, then it's not curving.
So name what it was. Name what it was that you was not supposed to see, but you did see. What was the name of the lighthouse?
None of that matters because that was for that was for me. That wasn't for you. That was for me.
This is so ridiculous. It was for you. That proved it to you. So what was the name of the lighthouse?
But that wasn't for you, Kayvon.
But this is a debate.
But Gas, listen.
I'm explaining to you how flat earthers go about flat earthing, right? So it's not just like you listen to someone
you're just making fun of flat. You're just making fun of flat earthers, then.
No, I'm telling you how flat earthers become flat earthers.
So flat earthers go out
with the laser experiment. Go outside.
Hold on, guys. So flat earthers go out to the beach. They see a lighthouse, and then they say, "Oh man, it's flat."
It can be any object.
You're completely making fun of flat earthers right now.
You saw the one with the PS. I can show you a different one.
Gas is definitely a glober. He's trolling because that's making fun of flat earthers.
Hang on a sec. Have you ever been on a plane, Gas?
Yes.
Yeah, you know that stays in the air because the Earth is round, right? That stays in the air moving because GPS works, right?
No,
if you've ever been on an airline, anything greater than a prop plane, any sort of commercial liner, works on a basic simple process of GPS. It cannot stay in the air. But put it this way. When they were putting satellites in the sky, the clocks that were on them, or that were proposed to be on them, were akin to a Rolex. They lose about 1 second every 1,000 years. And that was too inaccurate. They had to create some sort of semi-quasi-quantum clock because it needed to be far more accurate to stay in the sky. Because it's round, if you're out by even 1,000th of a degree, a satellite will just come plummeting into the atmosphere again. A plane won't leave the ground. It'll just invert and crash into the floor.
Yeah, but in order for it to be round, you would need a geometric horizon, which you don't have.
But what have you ever, when you were on that plane, were you awake? Were you sat at the window?
Wildcats, I felt the pain in your eyes.
I saw a flat horizontal plane.
It's just the same old stuff. That's what I'm trying to do. Moon landings. I ain't got to listen to drivel like that anymore. Does anybody want to talk about moon landings?
Yeah,
it always goes to flat.
So that was the original subject. So what I was realized while was listening to you guys is that so it's all a game then, right? So Russia did their thing first, but they were lying because rockets have never left. So they did their thing. They put satellites up. They crashed into the moon, and that was all fake. And then the United States said, you know what? We're going to do the same thing, and we're going to fake it. And then China did it, and Japan and India, and everybody's just doing these missions. But everyone knows that they're lying to each other. So the government's just wasting money.
They're all in bed together. You know that.
Yeah,
all the governments, all the institutions.
Yeah, but
it's the worst.
Together. It's the worst scam ever.
It's
what
not
I'm getting
the Russian people.
Hold
it's
on,
the
hold
Russian
on.
government.
What I'm getting at, if they're doing it to take money, why don't they just keep the money? Why are they going out their way to use their money to send rockets up, pay personnel, pay experts to create the machinery, pay outsource, just to fake something, because they're not going anywhere, right? They're just crashing into the firmament. That's like me saying, hey, I want to sell cars, but I'm going to take the cars and I'm going to crash them into things. There's no money being made.
Scass, you're not saying they crash them, are you? You're saying that they just pretend they're going into space.
No. He said they crash. No. He said they crashed. I've been with him live with him before. He says they crashed them into the dome because they're trying to get out.
They turn off. They avoid the dome.
So what's the point? If they know the dome's there, what's the point of getting close to the dome and then coming back?
How do you know they're getting close? They're probably miles away from it.
So what is the point? What is it that they're doing?
Avoiding the dome.
Yeah, but to what end?
But why are they sending stuff up in the first place? Why not send something up, 5 miles up? Send it 5 miles up, send it back down, fool the American people, fool the...
well, they do. The height that they go to is around 120,000 feet, and they say they turn off to go around the block.
All right.
But so for what reason? For what end? They're not selling merch based on 125,000 feet, are they?
No, but they're selling an idea.
All right. So does anybody know do you know the average of a rocket? Like, how much does it cost to send one up?
They want you to believe in everything backwards. They want you to believe in evolution. They want you to believe gas pressure from a dispatch container. They want you to believe in everything upside down. That's the whole point of it.
Well,
we've got to be trolling at this point.
There's easier ways to believe in an evolution than a freaking moon landing. I don't see how that correlates.
I don't think he's trolling. I've heard more ridiculous things from other people. It sounds like trolling when he says things like that, but I don't think he is.
You asked me for an answer. I'm not going to know the precise answer. I'm giving you what I think is why. How would I know why somebody's lying? I'm not inside their head.
No, what I'm saying is it's not just the moon. What I'm saying is, to you guys, it's not just the moon landing that's fake.
You're suffering from such cognitive dissonance. You're like,
listen.
my God, why would they lie?
Cognitive dissonance.
Gas, listen.
I can't, my head exploded.
Sounds like cognitive dissonance to me, mate. Sounds like cognitive dissonance to me, mate.
I have to play that whenever someone says cognitive dissonance.
Well, that's what we're experiencing. It's like, well,
what I'm saying,
there's too many people involved. It's just not possible. Oh, my head is going to explode. Goodness sakes.
Okay, so they
understand basic maths. It's all right to lie. People.
So why would they lie about evolution?
Why would they lie about half the things that they've done?
Yeah, good question. Good question.
What is the Cold War then?
Why would they lie? What are they doing now that they've duped us into thinking that evolution is
why
real?
Would they lie? The fact is they are lying.
But
if somebody walks down the street and you get mugged, well, why did you do that? Who cares? They get arrested. They did the crime.
Do you know how the Earth was first found to be round and not flat? Do you know how that happened?
Sorry, say again.
hold on.
The story about how the Earth was discovered to be round?
The logic he just used made no sense. If somebody does a crime, we do want to know why they did it. That's why we have a court system.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter if you steal someone's phone.
They don't say, "Hey, we saw you do it. That's it. You're arrested. You're going to jail for life." That's not how it works.
Yeah, if you do a crime, who cares about why?
That's how detectives work. That's how they do it. They want to know why. That's how they.
What do you?
Sorry,
Kayvon. Gas, why do you think they're lying? Because you must have a theory as to why this massive lie that you think is going on about the moon and the flat Earth and evolution and everything else that you talk about. So, what is your theory as to why they're lying?
I don't know the precise reason, but it could be they're hiding.
You must think.
They could be hiding. They want to hide the creator, the true nature of the creator. They want to hide probably more resources.
Why would the shape of the Earth hide the true nature of the creator?
Because there are a lot of people who believe in evolution, as I touched on. So if you believe in a young Earth that was made by a creator, you will think differently to if you believe like millions of years and evolution and things like that.
Why does it have to be flat, though, for that to be true?
It doesn't have to be flat, but the fact is that it is flat.
Yeah, but so what's the lie? Why the lie about the flat Earth?
So it's to do with the opposite of what God wants or does. That's their idea. If you're like, let's say you got God and the devil, good and bad, you would want to do the opposite of what is good.
But why?
Okay, so what you're saying is
lie.
What you're saying is then
because if you're bad, you just do bad things. That's just the way it would work.
So what you're saying is then God created Earth, God created man, and he sat idly by for, according to you, only 2,000 years. And he's let the whole world be taken over by satanists.
No, he's allowed that, like, for a period, a period, for that to happen.
You know what? That don't make sense. You know why that don't make sense to me? Because he had Adam and Eve, right? And them two, he just had two people to get rid of. They disobeyed him. He should have took them out. End of game. That's it. It's over. You guys fucked up. You guys didn't listen to what I told you. Why would he let 8 billion people later still testing this?
Yeah, but Satan was a good angel and then he turned bad.
Yeah, but there's 8 billion people now. Why is he still testing this theory of what humans are going to do?
Gas, do you believe in?
Because there are still people yet to be born. That you just because you want it to happen right now, there's still like a future of people yet to be born and things to happen.
That's as ridiculous as the Great Reset.
Gas, do you actually believe in God?
Yes.
Right. That's a whole new kettle of fish then, because it's literally pointless talking to you because I don't know, like how many times have you read the Bible? How many times have you read?
Okay, so do you believe in science and all that stuff? Yeah.
Science isn't a thing to believe in.
Do you trust science? Do you have trust and faith in science?
I have no faith in science. Faith is not required for science.
What do you have with science?
Tangible evidence that's repeatable.
Excellent. So let's talk about that tangible evidence. What is the evidence that you're on a spinning ball?
This is what I was trying to ask you earlier. Have you any idea who was the first person to calculate that the Earth was round and how he did it? It has nothing to do with digital. It has nothing to do with Christianity existed before that. It has nothing to do with any of the horse shit that's spewing around. It's purely a notation.
You said tangible evidence. That means what we can touch, what we can physically manipulate, right?
Yeah, so the simple version is a guy sees a tower and he sees the length of the shadow at a certain time in the day. He knows where there's another tower exactly the same size, so he goes to that tower at the exact same time in the day and the shadow is different in length. That is only possible if the Earth is round, because if it was flat, the sun would be in the same position above both towers at the same time in the day. But
that's assuming that the light rays are coming in parallel, right?
No, they're not coming in parallel. Of course not. We're on a sphere.
No, the light rays from the sun are coming in parallel.
Parallel happens between two flat surfaces, mate. Like, I don't know what you mean.
So the light that's creating the shadow is coming in parallel from the sun.
Parallel does not apply to a globe.
Oh my God.
If you don't understand basic words, like it's pointless trying to have the
shadow,
conversation.
you're saying that one shadow was longer than the other, yes?
Yes.
So that's saying the sun, the reason why the one is shorter is because of the curved surface.
Yes.
Right, but that would assume that the sun rays are coming in parallel.
You mean if the sun rays are coming in straight not
lines,
curved.
yes.
Right, that's different to parallel.
Not
yes, light
corpuscular.
does travel in straight lines.
Yes, but the sun is not far away, it's local, and the lines do not come in straight lines. They're convergent, they're crepuscular.
Well, I like that. I like the it's local. When you say it's local, it's inside the dome,
So hold
right?
on, because let's not jump around. So your
I'm going with what you're saying.
Hold on. So your so-called measurement that you think you've made is based on an assumption that the sun rays are coming in
What's
parallel,
the assumption?
that the sun is far away. To get your smaller shadow, you would need the sun.
No, I've told you they're not coming in parallel. You think they're coming in parallel.
No, you think that because you think the sun is 93 million miles away.
The light rays travel in a straight line. Light rays travel in a straight line.
What you're saying, a shorter shadow and a longer shadow on a curved surface, the light rays would have to come in straight, parallel. And that's your assumption, because the sun is local, not 93 million miles away.
I'm aware of him, Hugo. Don't worry. Hugo's accusing Gas of trying to take over the conversation. I'm giving everyone equal time to talk here. Don't worry about it.
Well, I'm actually not.
I don't really know what else to say, mate, because people that existed before the light bulb knew this, and it is literally the premise, it's the basis of all modern technology. Mobile phones, planes in the air, submarines in the ocean, satellites in orbit. It's all built around this premise by normal people that don't work for the government. Like, let's assume that all these people are just. Are you trying to?
I could say the same.
Are you trying to tell me that literally millions of people are all wrong in the same way by accident?
Well, this is what I'm saying. You're appealing to some kind of emotional thing here.
Because for you to be correct, every person that works in any digital office to do with any digital device that has any connection to GPS would have to be ignorantly wrong.
There are more people that believe in a creator. There's creation. I could say the same thing. I'm not doing anything to show you physically of God. You're not doing anything physically to show me of your ball. You're saying somebody somewhere did something somehow, someplace.
That logic is critically flawed, though, because more people have listened to Justin Bieber than Celine Dion. But it doesn't mean that Justin Bieber's a better musician, does it?
Yeah, but I'm asking you what you said. I said, what's the difference between me and you? You've got science. You said you can prove it yourself. So can you show me yourself now, someone measuring the curvature of the Earth? You can't. So you're in the same position.
If you were to walk to where I'm stood right now, I will show you firsthand.
You're in the same position as a religious person. I can't show you God. You can't show me curvature. You can only tell about it, talk about it.
No, I can show you curvature, but it would need a whiteboard and a lot of drugs on my part to get through what would be a very testing ordeal.
But you can't.
Yes, anybody can. It's not me. I personally don't need to show you anything.
So right now,
the evidence is already there. You're refusing it.
Yeah, but now
you're just choosing to ignore it.
Ignore what? You've just spoken. That's all you've said is words.
Right, Guys, can we do an experiment then that uses no data like you want? So the sun is in the dome, right?
I have no idea where the sun is.
Okay, so we don't know where it's at. Do we know where the stars are? Are stars higher?
We have no idea about the celestial objects up there.
Are they lower or higher than the sun?
How would we know this?
So we don't. So you guys don't know anything. So what?
None of us know anything about the stars, the moon, and the sun.
For example, even if I'm wrong, hey, I say the sun's 93 million miles away, and the stars are much further away. Even if I'm wrong, right? Even if I'm wrong, I gave you a number. How far is your sun?
Yeah, but how do you know those numbers? How do you know?
Cheers, Kat. Thank you. See you later.
Forget
if I
that
give
part.
You a number, you're going to ask me, how do I know this?
I'm not.
How do you know this?
I'm not going to ask you that because I didn't want any data. I'm just saying if it's closer or further away. That's it.
I don't know. How would anyone know?
So how are you arguing anything? You can't even distinguish if a star is further away
debunking your
than
globe.
the sun.
Get with it. Your globe is a lie. I'm debunking it, refuting it, showing that your stupid globe does not exist. You are struggling to prove it exists.
Okay. How does the sun set?
What you're saying, Gas, is you believe I believe something and you believe something, and you're telling me I'm wrong because you don't believe it, but you don't have to tell me how.
I'm not making any claims.
I'm sure you've seen this video before, right? But I'm going to show you anyway. About the ships, yeah? Explain that.
Compression.
That makes no sense.
What?
To the bottom at that horizon, there is a band or a layer of atmosphere that is extremely dense and squashes objects when they reach it.
But not the other shit.
Okay, so how are you measuring that the atmosphere is dense? Because you're wrong, but how is whoever you've listened to measured that the atmosphere, which means nothing, by the way, is more dense there than anywhere else?
That's the observation. That's what the observations show.
Where did you get that information
from? No, the observation
dense?
shows that the Earth's curved. You're saying that it's wrong and giving as quote-unquote evidence something that is evidently fallible.
I'm going to show you. Let's have a look.
No, hold on. Did you measure that? How do you know? How do you know? How do you know?
I'm going to show you. That's all.
Yeah, did you measure it?
Yeah, show us the measurement.
I'm going to show you.
No, not that. Show us the measurement, not something on the table.
You.
So just to be clear, what I've just shown you, Gas, what I've just shown you, hand wave away, yeah? I want evidence. There you go. No.
I'm going to show you what is happening at the horizon. That's
Violated by gas! Violated by gas!
There you go.
Oh my God.
Flat Earth experiments are the worst experiments ever. The one under the table is still the funniest one to me. They put the lens halfway under the table and be like, "Oh, look, the stuff on top disappeared."
Don't. Yeah, I know. I did a mock one of them myself for a laugh.
Jesus Christ!
Can I get the big screen for a quick second, please?
No, I don't give big screens.
Oh, come on! I just want to show this atmosphere here.
No, just show it down there. I'm not changing it, although I can't be asked. I don't give it to globers or flat earthers.
Oh, fair enough. So you can see down here, at the atmosphere, at the horizon, there is a band that causes distortion.
What's that on the horizon?
That's the sunset.
Yeah. Can you bring that back in with a Flurf 1000?
No, because of this horizon band here. Look, this is what I'm pointing out.
Does that band disappear the higher I go? I'm still looking through that same band, but I'm in a higher angle.
Causing the obstruction, you see?
Yeah, but that band is still there. So if I go higher, why does the sun reappear?
So if you go higher,
I'm still looking through that same angle. If I go higher, I still got to go look down and still look through that band.
Yeah, but let's go back to that. So as you go higher, this horizon ramps up like that.
Yeah, but all right. But now point from where I'm looking at to where it ends.
To here.
Yeah, so I still got to go through that same band. I still have to look through the same place, even though I'm higher. I still have to look through the same atmosphere. So why does it appear again?
As you go higher, that stretches out.
You're not getting it. The atmosphere is still low. When I go higher, I'm going to be looking down at an
why isn't it getting compressed? Why is the sun not getting compressed if it goes higher?
The sun, let's have a look. The sun at the bottom is being compressed here, as you can see there.
And me going higher decompresses it?
As you go higher, the horizon moves out. Goes further away.
But why does it decompress it? I'm still looking at the same angle. I'm at the same distance, but I'm changing my angle. So I'm looking at an angle, but I still have to look through that same area of atmosphere that you're talking about. There's no way around that part.
Yeah, but that's just how we look. When we look out.
Yeah, but the way I look doesn't change. The angle which I look at the sun does not change the atmosphere you're talking about. So how does it decompress just because I go higher?
That's only at the horizon things appear to compress.
Okay, when I go higher, I will be able to see the full sun again. So how did I get rid of decompression just because I went higher?
If you go higher, this band, you will go beyond this band. and you will see beyond it.
You're not getting it. I still have to see through it.
But listen, Gas.
No, you're not looking through it as you go higher. As you go higher, you'll see beyond that band.
Let me have a go, Kay. Right, so imagine, Gas, you've got a person at every meter one in front of the other for 20,000 meters, right? So you're saying the first person, like this person here, they're looking through that compression because it's at the horizon. So presumably then, the person in front can't see either because they're also looking into the horizon, right?
Yeah, so whatever height you are, the horizon will be at a particular distance, and this band will appear for you there.
Right, okay. So what you're saying is then...
That picture that Whatkast had up is a good example as well. The boat was compressed beyond that horizon because you can see the band where the distortion is taking place.
Compressed from it was showing the very top of the boat. You think the rest of the boat was compressed?
No, so look, if in your picture the boat was in the water here, you'd see all of it. If your boat is here, you would only see half of the boat because in this region...
You'd see like the top third, so the other 2/3 are completely compressed into a band as far as you're concerned.
Well, that's what the observations show.
And it changed... And it changed
going over the horizon is what the observation shows.
No, because your horizon
and why did it change the color? Why did it make it disappear?
It's not geometrical.
Yeah, but compression doesn't make things disappear. Where is the bottom of the boat? Even if we saw it, but you said, hey, look.
The bottom of the boat is beyond this pit here.
Hold on, guys. Even if we saw it, right? But you got to at least point at it. You say, hey, look, right here we see a little bit of blue, and we know that the bottom of that ship is red. We see some compression here. We see the discoloration. But we don't see any of that. So does it make it disappear completely?
No, look, we can't see the bottom of the building here.
Holy crap, can you answer the question? How does it being compressed change the color?
Change the color of what?
Of the boat itself. If we're looking at a boat, right? The boat is yellow and then at the bottom is red.
Let's have a look. Show me, let me see it.
He just showed you the picture of the boat missing. If it's missing, if it's just compression, then we should still be able to at least see the colors, all distorted, but we should still be able to see, like, hey, that would be the bottom right there, but it's all compressed.
Why?
Because it doesn't make it disappear.
Guess you must have seen as well when you got the wind farms out at the sea, right? And some of them you can see that you can only see the very kind of half of the propeller things at the top. So you're telling me that the rest of them and the entire thing it's on and the yellow at the bottom of it is all compressed?
Exactly. If we see some like distorted yellowish, we'll be like, oh, right, that could be compression because we see some yellow there.
Let's clarify a sec. Gas, you just mean that the light from those objects is compressed, right? You don't think that the objects themselves are compressed, right?
No, they're not actually compressed.
Hey?
It's not actually compressed. Yeah, it's not.
No, you're just talking about the light. Okay. Just had to clarify.
Yeah, but that light would
that's
still
some
be
serious atmospherics going on there to compress about 100 foot of wind farm.
And actually, Gas, hang on a second. What is it about the atmosphere that compresses light, but doesn't compress anything physical?
No, it doesn't actually compress it. It just appears to.
Yeah, so it would have to compress the light, is what you're saying. Because
I've just shown you with the sun. I've shown you what happens with the sun.
No, you've shown me a Crayola drawing. What I'm wanting for you.
No, I showed you the actual physical sun, but you didn't put the big screen on.
As to why light, past a certain distance, all of a sudden, at the distance, is compressed, but once it's closer to me than that distance, remains compressed for some reason. So what you're saying is essentially, is if there's a car 10 meters away from me, I see it perfectly, right up until it gets to 10,000 meters, but at 10,001 meters, all that light just disappears and it gets compressed and I can't see it.
I mean, I don't know what to tell you. I can only go by observation. You go out there, you make the observation. We have an observation of the sun, as you can see.
You know what that is? That's a sunset, I think, Gas.
Yeah, but the band is just here, as you can see, causing the sun's distortion. The sun's not like this. The sun's not shaped like an egg.
So is the atmospherics on that horizon there making the sun much bigger than it should be? Because it should be really far away if it's getting that low on the horizon to be out of our view in your world. So it's making the sun massive and compressing the bottom of it.
Yeah, anything that reaches the horizon is going to be compressed.
And made bigger, obviously.
If the atmosphere is acting like a lens at that point, yes.
So the atmosphere is doing everything you need it to do.
Hang on a second. Hang on a second, Gas. Wait. Well, hang on a second. I've just realised something that is when there's like, I actually agree with you. By the way, just to play devil's advocate, I actually do think it's all compressed there. But I'm actually unsure about something. What happens to the sun when it all goes behind the horizon?
Well, it's a small sun, and what you're not looking at the actual sun when you see it go over at the horizon. That's not the actual sun.
So the entire sun gets compressed into nothing, and then it all goes dark.
No, the sun just goes over your head, moves away from you, and when it reaches the horizon, I can show you this with an experiment. Let's show you.
Yeah, no, wait. I actually got an experiment because tomorrow I fly.
Is this an experiment with no data again?
Hang on a sec, Gas. Tomorrow I'm going to fly to Sydney, and someone told me that I have to put my watch forward a bunch of hours because the daylight will switch. But actually, if the sun is just going to disappear behind the horizon, then the daylight hours and the nighttime hours are just going to be the same in Sydney, right?
I don't have a model. I can't give you times and distances.
No, of course, because you think the Earth's flat, so you wouldn't need them. The answer would just be a cardinal yes or no. If I fly to Sydney tomorrow, mate, I can tell you for a fact the time zones will not be the same because the sun will be there when it's not here, and it will be here when it's not there.
So I don't know if you can notice here, there is a band just here that causes compression
a fucking table,
of the
man.
object, right? So if
that's
you
what that is. It's not a band.
You're not serious. You think that is evidence? What you've shown?
You know what you're looking at?
Card with
yes, you're putting the camera in a downwards angle on a table.
Oh my god!
Do you know what you're looking at?
I'm looking at
you're pointing the camera down at a table.
So you've got a flat table.
I'm looking at 250 quid on you being framed. That's what I'm looking at.
So on a flat table, we can have things disappear bottom first, just like the sun or a boat on a flat surface.
Yes.
So it looks like the boat's disappearing bottom first, right?
Of course, because you're pointing down at the table.
You're bringing it. What is going on?
Exactly. That's my point.
Holy crap. So if I were to just look up, then I would be able to see it, right? Just like the table.
And with the lens, it makes objects appear to disappear bottom first.
Holy crap.
Look,
so why doesn't that happen with an airplane?
How is it disappearing then?
Because there's a lens in front of it.
Why doesn't that happen with an airplane? Why does it happen with a ship but not an airplane?
So look, here's the side view, and here's the top view of the sun.
Is the sun going away from us at the ground? Why is this experiment on a table? Is the sun at the same level as you going away from it?
Here's a camera from the bottom, and here's a view from the top. It's on a little remote control car as it moves backwards. There's the camera on the table. There's the lens. There's the light. And the top here, the candle disappears bottom first, as you can see here.
If me and you, Gas, we drive down to the beach where you went to try and look at the lighthouse. Is that a bit more clearer for you? And we get there. We get to the beach where the lighthouse is supposed to be.
It's rising now. It's coming forward, and you see the light rising on a flat surface. You see the light.
Gas. If me and you jump down in a car, go down to that beach where you try to look at the lighthouse, and I jump into a little boat and I go sailing over the horizon, what lens are you looking through?
Just a P900, P1000.
No, of course. Your eyes. What are you on about?
Just take a P1000.
If you watch me sail over the horizon, what lenses are you looking through?
I've just told you.
Can someone else help me here? Because I don't know how else to...
I'm losing the will to live, honestly. I think I've been on here a couple of hours. I think I'm going to close down the live now. Anyway, thanks everyone for coming up. To realise what the time is. I only need lunch, so I'm going to go and get something to eat. I might come back on later on if everyone wants to jump on later. Cheers, Gas, for coming up. Cheers, Ashley. Cheers, Kayvon.
Cheers.
Thank you, everybody in the chat, for sharing and liking, etc. Follow everybody. I'll follow you back, and I might come on again and do another live later on. Cheers, everybody. See you later.